Hello everyone. Welcome back to a fresh new episode of Knock Off the Perch, where we talk everything Manchester United. United are seventh in the league table at a five unbeaten game, and we have our new signings to thank for that. Four of our new signings, a lot of them have hit the ground running. Today in this episode, we'll be talking about these four signings: Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko, and Lammens. How have they performed? How have they fared? And how have the fans taken them to their
Yep,
heart?
yes. And we are using four broad parameters very subjectively. We will try to rate out of 10 on each of the parameters. And just to give a quantitative, objective analysis to what we believe is the current performance of the new signings so far, we'll start with impact, how consistent they've been, have they been able to handle the Premier League intensity, and are they an upgrade to what was available earlier? So let's start with Bumo. Let's start with that, Dheeraj. And out of 10, what do you think has been Bumo's impact on pitch, the immediate impact on pitch?
I mean, we always knew what we were getting in Boomo. We were getting those directness in attack. In fact, Fernandez recently told in an interview that he saw in one of the training sessions that Boomo was receiving the ball and passing the ball. He said, "I've
Yeah,
seen you in Brentford. I've seen what you can do. You do what you do best, which is be direct in attack." That is what he has shown in matches. Now we
yeah,
are seeing the output as well. He's just
yeah.
continued in form. Boomo, in fact, is the third player who has 25 goals since last year, which is
Yeah,
a great start in my opinion. I think the other two are Haaland and Salah, I believe. And so I'd say his on-pitch impact has been 9 out of 10.
I agree. I agree. Just leaving that 1 point to sort of give him a little bit of a scope of improvement, but I think he's been
Definitely.
top notch. I think had you told me at the beginning of the season that by the third international break he would be having this kind of an impact where he would have scored five in the Premier League, he had a goal in the EFL Cup as well, and the kind of positive impact he has had, I would have taken it any day. So I would stick to that 9 as well. Coming to consistency for Bumo, how would you rate that?
I think again, I think fairly consistent he has been in almost games. He has started all the games. He's been available all of the games and he
Yeah,
has been consistent. I think the consistency also comes from playing in a certain position. Bumo hasn't been moved too much in our system. He has been on the right, and the fact
yeah,
that he has a partner in crime in Amad Diallo and
yeah.
who he has struck a great chord with, I think that has helped his consistency. I think I'll give his consistency 8. I remember one bad game that he had. Other than that, he has played all great games.
Agree, agree. I think I am fully aligned to that as well. You would expect him to get into a stage where probably he's having a goal involvement every game, if not a goal, at least get an assist, or maybe 2 out of 3 games have that finish on 25, 26 goal involvements through the season. He's not yet on track for that, but maybe he will be. And then coming to ability to handle the Premier League intensity, I think this has been top notch. I think for Cunha and Bumo, one of the
Yep.
reasons we got them, and we turned back the years a little bit, where Sir Alex Ferguson was signing some of the Premier League proven players into Manchester United. I think we've turned the clock a little bit there, and he has been top notch. There have been no teething issues, etc. for him. Again, I will rate him a 9. What do you think?
Yeah, I would also gone for 9 or 10 here, but because this is a pat on the back to the management, right? They
Yeah.
recognized the talent, they got the talent. We had to wait a certain long period for Boomo to come into the team, but once he did, he has been on song.
Absolutely, absolutely. And talking about the upgrade versus what the club had in these positions, and this is a bit of an interesting one because last year many different players were being tried in that right 10 spot. At times it was Ahmad, Bruno played there sometimes when Ahmad was unfit. In between, I can't.
Garnacho?
Garnacho also played there. Yeah, a lot of different people were tried, and few of them have left the club. And Ahmad, who was earlier playing there, has moved to the right wing spot. He's definitely an upgrade on all of them. The only thought that I have in my mind, does it displace Ahmad from his naturally best position a little bit? But you could argue that, he's obviously not at par to Bumo yet. So it makes
I
sense to
feel
do
I
that.
feel he's finding his niche in the right wing back as well. I had this
Hmm.
feeling that because we are signing two number 10s, the growth trajectory of Ahmad would be disrupted very badly. I don't think that has
Yeah,
happened. In the recent few games, I've seen Mbeumo drop back when Ahmad is going ahead, and they
yeah,
have this chemistry between them in which they do realize that one person will have to drop back, other ones can go attack.
yeah.
We're finally seeing the output from Ahmad as well. We've seen 2 goals very recently, so it is definitely a big upgrade from what we had before. I'd go
Another
for
nine?
yeah, another 9 definitely.
Perfect, perfect. Let's talk about the final verdict towards the end for all four players. But moving on to Cunha next. Now, this is an interesting one in terms of immediate impact because he's been slightly hot and cold in terms of the action into the final third. In some of the games, his ability on the pitch in the ground has been top notch. I still remember that game against Liverpool when we were trying to
Yeah.
hold on to the lead 2-1. I think he was absolutely top notch. But I think that there is scope for improvement on his impact. I'll probably rate it a 7. Is that too harsh?
Yeah, no, no. I think 7 is a bang on assessment because the numbers haven't been there. When we signed both these players, I had my money on Cunha to score many more goals, many more assists, and that has been his down, and that has been his con as well because he's been rushing into things. He's been trying to get that goal when it isn't there. Maybe he should try and simplify his game a bit. Maybe he
Yeah,
should just try and find those key passes. He's been trying to get that goal. He has finally gotten that goal, but
yeah,
he's been rushing into things. So yes, the fans love him already. I think the players also he's made a good camaraderie with the players as well. So for
yeah.
that we'll give him 7. But yeah, still a lot to be decided because the ceiling for a player like this is quite high.
Agree, agree. And I think the only difference when we come to consistency is where I might give him a rating higher is that whenever he's been on the pitch, he's consistently been doing, apart from goal scoring, the other things that are expected from him, he's consistently been doing well there. He's supposed to carry the ball in. He's supposed to have those maverick moments where he takes on shots from almost nothing moments. I think he's been fairly consistent in terms of what the expectation is. Again, a game here, a game there, he's sort of missed out on in terms of creating that impact as a consistent player, but fairly okay, I would believe. What do you think?
Yeah, I would have gone for a 7 here because you expect much more from a number 10 of Manchester United. You expect goals, you expect assists, you expect a
Let's be
lot, but
fair and rate it 7.5.
agreed, agreed. Because yeah, like you mentioned, other than a goal scoring, he has been on par with all.
Absolutely. Next, what do you think about his ability to handle the Premier League intensity?
At a game go 9 because he is unfazed in the face of opposition. He'll play Liverpool and he'll play say a Bournemouth team the same way. He always brings
Yeah,
his 100%. He always brings the fire. He always brings the joga bonito that we
yeah,
talk about. So he isn't he is not faced by Premier League intensity at all. He's continued what he was doing at Wolves. Of course, the weight of the United shirt is much heavier, but
yeah.
I think he'll get used to it soon.
Agree, agree. And this is where if when we compare from other players who are available, I think here it is a more direct comparison with Garnacho. I think Garnacho was
Definitely.
playing in the left end spot a lot more. Probably some comparisons from Mount as well, and he's directly competing with Mount for the left end spot, or even the striker position. At times he is competing with Sesko for. But here, I think because he's so far forward, I think him as an upgrade, I think we want a lot more. He's definitely bringing a lot of on the ball ability. His decisions are relatively much better than a Garnacho, but in comparison, Mount brings something different in his gameplay as well. So I think as an upgrade, maybe I will say he is yet to prove that he is a big upgrade. I would give it a rating of 7, but I'll wait for you to give your thoughts.
I was thinking 9. I'll tell you why. Because what Garnacho and Mount provided, they were nothing close to Cunha. Cunha has gotten us out of games which we didn't deserve to win. Cunha brings not just his playmaking skills, but his
Yeah,
ball shielding skills. He can be anywhere on the pitch and he can create a moment. He'll run with the ball. We don't have that players anymore. We don't have that kind of ball carriers. If you think about profiles, we don't have a ball
yeah,
carrier anymore. It's only Bumo
yeah.
and Cunha that I can think of who are agile, who are skillful.
Ahmad is a fairly good
Ahmad
ball carrier.
was a very direct one. But yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Other than these three, we don't have that profile. So I'd say what we had before, he's a really good replacement. So in my head, I'm comparing, I don't know why, but I'm comparing him with Rashford, who was our last number 10, even though Rashford hasn't played for quite some time for us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, like, I think he embodies what a United number 10 should do. And
Yeah.
I'd say I'd go for a 9. So I think we can just go for an average as a 8.
We can agree on 8, but I think the only reason why that I looked at a relatively lower rating is Mount of late. Whenever
Hmm,
he's
hmm.
been on the pitch, he has had a good impact. Pressing is solid. I think he has been involved in a few of the goals as well. So he's not a clear head and shoulder above Mount for me in
Fair.
that spot. And at times Mount has been able to come in and have that impact. But yeah, we can agree on the rating of 8. Next, coming to Sesko, who has been under the pump a little bit from United fans. Let's talk about his immediate on-pitch impact. Where do you think that is on a scale of 10?
So I think as a striker, he's been doing a lot of things right. But again, it's not his fault that he came for a 80 million fee that he's being touted as the
Yeah,
next big thing.
yeah,
But I expected him to be a lot better than Højlund. He is
yeah.
better than Højlund, but the impact hasn't been immediate. So I'll give for this particular field, I'd give him a 6.
I would agree. There seemed to be a phase where he scored those 2-2, but then he was dropped for the next game and was on the bench. Whether it was for tactical reasons, whether it was for performance reasons, I think only the management and the coaching staff will know. But yeah, I think 6. If we look at it as an average rating, I mean, the argument will be that whether he has had even an average impact or not, right? So in my head, I'm looking at whether he's a 5 or a 6, but I think in terms of some of the dimensions that he has added to play, and especially because we are playing a lot more direct, I think his aerial
Hmm.
ability comes into play. The red card we were able to get against Chelsea was through a
Yeah.
Sesko flick on, and a couple of other times when his flick ons have led to important shot creating, goal creating action. So I think 6 is a fair one, but I think consistency is where I will mark him down.
Hmm.
That is where I'm just not seeing him give. There are good players who, if they're not able to give like 8 or 9 performances every match, they will at least give like a 6 on 7 performance. Sheshko sometimes feels really off it. Like there were a couple of games where we felt that he was really off it, and which is where the struggle was a little bit, which is where maybe he's a 5 for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think for both consistency and ability to handle PL intensity, I'd go with a 5 for him. I'll tell you why. Because there have been with the initial problem was that we weren't creating enough chances for him. But with Sheshko, we have been creating enough chances. At least Bumo and Cunha, I do see them passing the ball a lot to Sheshko. He has been part
Yeah,
of the build up, but he hasn't performed that greatly. And you'd say the defenders are getting the better of him. I saw, a couple of defenders who bullied him into making a decision. Recently, Van
yeah,
de Ven, if you see the Tottenham match, he had a really good chance,
yeah.
but Van de Ven recovered very fast. So that's why I think for both of these fields, I'd give him a 5.
And unfortunately, I think this injury situation is also coming at a wrong time for him.
Yeah.
He was, starting to settle a little bit in the squad, and the minutes would have come in, especially in this period when the games are going to come in quickly. So let's hope that injury is not too big. But the big question is, he how much of a upgrade? I think we agree he's an upgrade over Hoyland, at least to what he was performing in Manchester United shirt. But how much of an upgrade he is? One could argue he's not much better. His goal contribution hasn't been through the roof. His build up play, you would say that in holding the ball, he's pretty much similar to Hoyland. Maybe some of the runs that he's making are better. His presence in box is maybe better. So it's a tough one, but somewhere between 6 and 7 is what I'm thinking. What about you?
Yeah, so I'd also go for 6 because there's still a lot of room to improve. Højlund also started slow, but in his first season, he did score a lot of goals in Europe and everywhere. So
Yeah.
yeah, 6 is a fair one for this.
All right. Now coming on to our goalkeeper, Amrin took his time to bring him in. It was only in the 7th game in the Premier League is when Lammens came in, and since that we have played 5 games and we haven't lost a game, and we also kept a clean sheet. Yeah,
For Lammens, can we start on the opposite way? And when we say it's an upgrade versus the club had before, I'd like to place this as a 10 because God, I don't miss Onana. God, I don't want to see Onana in a United shirt anymore. So yes, he's a 10 and it's a 100% upgrade on Onana. I wouldn't say on Binder. Binder was performing decently, but he also had a mistake in him. But
Yeah,
Lammens has come in and made life and goalkeeping so boring that I love it. That
absolutely, absolutely. And
I don't worry about goalkeeping too much now, and I don't think the defenders do either.
yeah, and I think the first game against Sunderland that he played, and the crowd was cheering every little
Yeah,
ball collection that he would do. If he would come out on a cross or a corner and take the ball, as like any normal goalkeeper is expected to do. I think that was just testament to how much we have missed having a just a plain old solid boring goalkeeper between the sticks. So I think definitely an upgrade, and probably one could argue he's a steal at 20 million or so that he
definitely.
was brought in for. And I think that takes us naturally to how well he has gotten accustomed to the Premier League. Amorim
Hmm.
took time. I think a lot of us were questioning. We were predicting our lineups. We were like, okay, Lammens has to start this one. He used to start the next one, but he wasn't for the first few games. But then when he did, I think he seems fairly at it. I think not really hasn't really made a mistake per se. Some of the goals that have got in couldn't have
I'd give
done
him,
too much about those. So I think he's been fairly good. Maybe he's come in a time when the Premier League itself is becoming a little more direct,
yeah,
so we're not seeing his ball passing abilities, etc., so much. But I think I'll give it a solid 8, just because we haven't seen his ball passing so much. I don't know how to rate that, but a solid 8. What do you think?
yeah. I was going to go for a 9 because he doesn't fall in either of those categories.
Yeah,
Either he could be a short stopping goalkeeper or he could be a ball passing goalkeeper. He doesn't fall in any of the clear categories. Short stopping he has done very well. He has
yeah,
commanded his area very well and he has played the big games now. He's played at Anfield and made two great saves from Isaac and Salah. In fact, his run towards Salah forced him to take a shot very early.
correct.
So I think he has handled Premier League quite well. So, and the 5 games that he has played, I think he has played similarly in all the games. Of
Yeah,
course, Amorim changed the tactics after the third game or so when
yeah,
he was asked to go. He was going long for the first 3 games, so we didn't know if he had it in him
yeah.
to take a short pass, but then he was taking those short pass. So
Against
I'd
Forest,
say
yeah, he was taking a lot of short passes
exactly.
as well.
So on the consistency scale, also I think I'd give him an 8.
Yeah, I agree to that. I think he has been just, above what the expectations have been. He's not gone out of the world. He's yet to make those out of the world David De Gea saves, but I think he has them in his kitty. They will come
Definitely.
in soon enough. I think he's just been at it. We've been like really happy with him being present on the pitch, and just the fact that we haven't lost a game since he has started. We kept our first clean sheet. I think his on pitch impact has been fairly high as well. I am again thinking in the range of 8 to 9. What about you?
I was going to go say 10 because since he has come, we haven't lost. He has played a 7 or 8 out of every game,
Yeah.
and you cannot ask more of it. It's the most important position. It's the most criticized position in Premier League. The goalkeeper of Manchester United. He has come in
L-
and
My only point is, let's not get carried away in rating
hmm.
him there in comparison to our previous goalkeeper. So let's keep that tapered
No,
down a
but we are,
little.
we, we are rating his
It's actually
immediate
just
on
one
pitch.
clean sheet in 5. I think let's keep
Yeah,
that
yeah,
in
yeah.
mind also. Yeah.
Yeah, but like clean sheet, I feel is a collective team responsibility. But what he has done, he
True.
has brought in some calm in the defense environment, and we are talking about the on-pitch impact immediate. In the last five
Yeah.
games, I think we can gauge it between a 9 or a 10. I agree. If you want to go for a 9, I'd go 10. So you can go for a 9.
Okay, let's go for a 9.5 for this. Perfect, perfect. So now, quick roundup. If we had to look at everything, all this put together, Bumo is a 9 on 10. Agree.
Definitely
What about Cunha? 8 on 10. Just averaging out the ratings, what we have seen so far.
7.
7.5. Let's go for 7.5. Sesko, based on how we have rated, 5.5.
Definitely.
And then Lammens would be close to 9. Yeah, 9
Yeah, yeah,
again.
a solid 9. He's a solid 9. So I think
Perfect.
Bomo and Lamens have really blown us out of the water, and this shows the kind of investment that has been put, that kind of thought that has gone into a
Yeah,
recruitment has been great because it wasn't that great in the previous season.
yeah,
Really hope Sheshko gets more chances. Really Sesko gets settled. The 5.5 rating does in no way reflect his true potential. It's just the
Yeah.
fact that he has gotten very few, limited minutes, and the Premier League intensity has been. And let's not forget that
It's
he's
okay. We
just
don't need
24
to
years old.
defend it. That's what we feel. That's okay. But
Yeah,
just before we close, Mbeumo and Senne Lammens both on 9 out of 10. If you're to choose one signing of the season so far for Manchester United, who would that be?
I think Bumo has really changed the attacking unit altogether. We look like a completely different animal when we go attack from that right hand side. I'd go for Bumo. What about you?
I would go for Lammens just because the spine of the team starts from the goalkeeper. He has really brought a lot of solidity in the how we build up from the back, how calm we feel as a defensive unit. So I would go for Lammens as our signing of the season
Fair.
so far. Perfect. Great. We had a lot of fun building this out. Do let us know your opinions, your thoughts in terms of what you believe is the performance of the new signing so far. And as always, this is our perch. Let's knock him off. Until next time, stay united.